good morning and happy Australia Day. Welcome to the Hereford Prime Barbecue. Here we're going to try and teach you how to cook the best possible steak you can have on Australia Day. Joining me on the stage, I have two big food professionals. To my left, I have Paul Whitewick. He's the executive chef of Hart's Pub, which is in the Rocks. You might have seen it. A very old, beautiful-looking pub right near the Shangri-La. Paul, welcome to the stage.
Thank you. Welcome.
Very nice to have you here today. You're going to be teaching us how to cook the steak. What are you cooking?
Today we're going to do one of our most popular dishes. We're going to use Hereford Prime Rump for a steak sandwich with caramelised onion made with our red ale. Some of our sauces we're also going to incorporate our Hangman, which are our craft beers. So we try and do a food-beer combination.
That's right, because I understand Hart's Pub's not just about food and not just about any old beer, but they brew their own beer, and we'll talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely.
Paul, can you just get cracking here and show me how do we go about it? How do we cook the perfect steak?
Okay, first of all, we got two beautiful rump steaks here.
And how do you know they're a beautiful rump steak?
You can tell by the marbling, colour of the meat, and just the sinews and fat. There's very little. It's been trimmed down. Nice, subtle pink colour, ready to go.
Ready to go.
The best thing, they're at room temperature. So before I cook them, I'm just going to do a little seasoning and then let the pan do the rest.
Absolutely. Is the pan a key?
Oh, yes.
What do we need when it comes to pans?
When it comes to a pan, it's good solid stainless steel. But for cooking and searing steak, you want the pan really hot.
Really hot. So leave it
it
on.
seals the meat, caramelizes, and it keeps the juices in, captures all the flavour.
All right, let's have a go. What's first step?
First step at the moment, I've got the pan heating up. Then we're just going to do a bit of light seasoning, cracked pepper, salt.
Now this is the big question, to salt or not to salt before you cook?
Absolutely. Personally, I always salt before cooking. If you're not sure, try it. Cook a piece unseasoned and try a piece seasoned, and you'll find there is quite a difference. Salting beforehand brings the flavour out. Salting after, the caramelisation has already occurred and you're really just putting seasoning on top of the cooked steak.
So salt beforehand, just
Absolutely.
A little dribble, just a
That's
little...
it, just a little bit. Also
bit.
what we're going to do is just soak that with a bit of olive oil.
And best olive oil you can afford, is that always your advice?
Best isn't always necessarily the greatest. Whatever you can afford, olive oil, vegetable oil, doesn't really matter. Just keeps the steak moist and will help with the caramelisation when we cook it.
You've obviously done a bit of preparation here as well. How have you done the onions?
Right, today we did caramelised onions, which are slowly just melted down in their own juices. Again, started with olive oil, onions into the pan, let them caramelise down, and then I've added some red ale, of our handcrafted red ale, and let that juice evaporate and just the onions absorb the flavour.
You know it's a good meal when you can get beer into the food.
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
What I say.
I mean, a lot of people do wine and food matching. We're very much about beer and food matching, and it actually works really well.
Fantastic. So we've seasoned, we've oiled, we're heating up the pan. Yep. Are we ready to go yet?
We're just ready to go. We'll just get that pan really nice and hot.
And how do you know when it's hot enough?
You can almost want it smoking.
Almost smoking's the key.
Almost smoking.
And you don't put the oil directly into the pan?
I will in a minute. When it's really hot, we'll just wait. We can just put a bit in and we'll see how hot it is.
Here we go.
Yeah, we're actually
it's
not far
bubbling.
away.
Is that close?
That's pretty close.
That's pretty close. I might just let you get it. Oh, look at, there we go.
That's what we want.
That's what you wanted.
Oh, see, that's actually very hot.
Very hot pan.
Here we go.
Got flames even on the Hereford Prime Barbecue here. And you can actually already smell it from here. I'm being very spoiled. Just while we're letting those cook, how long on each side do you always say?
For a medium rare steak, 3 to 4 minutes each side with a hot pan.
Fantastic.
Just turn that.
While you're cooking those, I might just move across here to Mark Feathers. Now, Mark, you're the owner of Hart's Pub and also the brewing side of all of this. Now,
That's
Hart's
correct.
is a unique pub. It's not just a pub. You brew your own beer.
Yes, we do. We've been brewing for about 4.5 years now. Hart's Pub we took about 2 years ago, and we basically try and use all of our beers in all our cooking and basically it's 12 Australian craft beers on tap down at Hart. So
12 different beers. So if you don't like beer, you should come down here because you'll find one you do like.
we have ciders and wines as well, so we will find something you're going to like. So that's for sure.
How hard is it to brew beer? We've seen that TV show, A Pub with No Beer. They had a lot of trouble getting it right. How do you guys go?
We are actually in the process of building our own brewery this year. We actually contract at the moment, so we use other people's breweries. But obviously, we're getting such a big capacity, we actually need to build our own brewery. So
Build your own brewery, and
yeah.
is that, I might pull you over stage left here, is that on site?
No, it's not on site. Obviously, Hart's Pub is a 100% heritage listed building, so it's very hard to do anything with Hart's Pub. So we actually going to have to do it somewhere else. But at the same time, we have all Australian-owned craft beers. So that's something that's very big at the moment. Obviously, being Australia Day, is that a lot of people don't know Tui's and CUB are actually not Australian-owned craft beers anymore, or actually owned beer companies. So, Cooper's with a 4% market share is the biggest Australian-owned brewery in Australia now.
So to be Australian on Australia Day, you need to go to Hart's Pub for your beer. That's what you're telling us?
Pretty much.
Now, also the pub itself, interesting story. Some
Yep.
fairly famous people have been there, and as you say, heritage listed.
Absolutely. Look, it was built in the 1880s by a guy called, his last name was Hart's, with Margaret Fulton actually used to live there. There's actually 3 terrace houses, and when the A&A was built back in the 80s, they decided they were going to turn into either executive offices or actually turn into a pub. So they decided to turn into a pub, and thankfully for that. And it's a fantastic little pub with nice little rooms, and we're excited with the whole Hereford Prime incorporation as well now. So
Yeah, let's touch on that. Hereford Prime is basically the beef you choose to use at your pub. Why is that?
basically, we love the fact that if you come to our pub, even our wine list, you might be able to get 1 or 2 of our wines in Dan Murphy's and bottle shops. The rest are very boutique-y, locally made, Australian-owned, Australian-made. So we met the guys from Hereford Prime. We loved what they did. The beef's all from New South Wales. We love the local product, and that's why we're in partnership basically with Hereford. So.
And for your chefs, it's easy to cook and it's reliable, isn't it?
Absolutely. Since we've changed over to Hereford, we've had so many great comments and remarks on how great the steaks are, and how basically cost effective it is for us as well. So.
Well, you'd want to cook a good steak considering Margaret Fulton, who has to probably be the queen of cooking in Australia. She used to live in your pub, so
Absolutely.
I'd say it want to be good food if she's been there.
Definitely. We're about to relaunch our menu in late February, March, and we're actually going to have 4 Hereford Prime steaks on our mains, as well as sausages and also in our burgers as well.
Caramelisation.
So if you want a beef fix, Hart's is the place to go. Now we'll just switch back here, and what's happened here now?
See how we've got this nice caramelisation? I've thrown some fresh butter in there, just clarified, and we're just basting it in that. So we're going to get all the flavours and juices. And when we put it on the sandwich, we're going to have a really tasty steak sandwich.
It smells absolutely amazing, and I really want to get a little taste of that one. So
Most
the butter
certainly.
is the key to the caramelising?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
And just gives it that flavour as
unsalted
well.
or salted butter?
Salted.
A salted butter?
Absolutely.
And so really it's that simple. All you need is the
It
beef,
is.
the salt and pepper, the oil and the butter.
Bit of butter.
Do we need some fries with that, Paul? Do we need some fries
Ah,
with
a good idea. Thank you.
that? Do you want to put them in?
Drop them in for us.
Oh, look at this. A deep fryer on stage. Steak and chips. There's not much that can beat that.
That's it. So it's one of our most popular dishes.
Now over here as well, Paul, you have been just putting together the rest of your steak sandwich. We've got the lettuce, we've got the tomato, we've got the onion, which is caramelised beautifully there. Also the bread. Is the bread key?
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice fresh bread. I mean, again, normally I'd toast that back here, but we don't have an oven today. So just nice fresh Turkish bread, fresh out the oven this morning. Nice crisp iceberg lettuce, fresh tomatoes sliced, and what I've done is just a bit of salt and pepper on there, again for taste. And then we're going to finish it off with this homemade hangman aioli.
Now what goes in the aioli? That sounds amazing.
Okay, I mean, it's all our sauces at Hart's Pub are homemade. So we've
Just
started.
a little bit of mayonnaise here,
Oh,
not
yeah.
too much.
That's the flavour.
It's got to drip down your hand.
Just garlic, mayonnaise, and hangman aioli mixed, combined together. Again, salt and pepper for seasoning. Cooking's all about taste.
Fantastic. Now this is so easy. You could do it at home, couldn't you?
Absolutely.
There's no
Absolutely.
reason why anybody out there couldn't cook such a good steak sandwich.
Very, very simple. As you've seen, it's taken me 5-6 minutes. A little bit of preparation beforehand, but a great family meal. Everything is nutritious. Nothing bad, untoward. It's all just good food.
Just
with
Good
good
Aussie
beer.
food for Australia Day.
Absolutely.
With a bit of good beer. What beer would you put with this one, Mark?
I'd match it with a couple of different kind of beers. Definitely the red ale that we have actually used in the caramel, in the onions. Red ale goes great with any of the meats we have. And basically, you could use one of the Hangman as well, which is our nice American-style pale ale, so it's nice and hoppy and bitter. But the red ale just goes great with any of the Hereford meats. So, yeah.
So that's the key, red ale and beef.
Absolutely.
Now, for everyone who's watching this or standing out there, the good news is you can also have a little bit of Hereford Prime goodness. Today we have our Hereford Prime headquarters tent. Please head down. There's a competition there. You could win yourself a night for two at the Vibe Hotel in Rushcutters Bay. All you have to do is enter the draw. Also, we're giving away a free kilogram of sausages to anybody who comes to the tent. Just pop on down. See our friends at the Hereford Prime headquarters tent. They'll give you a voucher. You can redeem that online. You can also redeem that at a butcher's shop in Marylands. Please take advantage of that. Once you've had these sausages, you will not look back. And everybody, I think it's time, perhaps, we had a little taste of these steak sandwiches. So let's get someone out in the crowd who thinks they might just like a bit of an early lunch. I can see a couple of people looking pretty hungry out here. A man with a backpack turning around. Come up onto the stage, come on up and have a little bit of a taste. We'd love to see what you think of it. While we're waiting for you, I think I might just have a little bit of a go myself. If you have a look at it now, it's looking amazing. Steak, sandwich and chips. You can't do a lot better than that. Now I'll just chop off a little bit for you here. We'll just get one of the chefs actually.
Yeah,
just,
absolutely.
Oh, just cut it in half. I think it's time to sample for sure, mate. What's your name?
David.
And David, where are you from?
Cherrybrook.
Cherrybrook. And what's brought you into Hyde Park on Australia Day?
Steak sandwiches.
That was
Good
the
stuff.
right answer. Well, I chose the right man to have a go at this steak. Have a little bit of a crack. You're on camera, don't be shy. Just grabbing it. Oh, look at it. You can see when it's cut in half just how good it is. Perfectly cooked steak there, a little bit pink, dripping as
that's how
all
it's
good
supposed to
steak
be. All the
sandwiches
juice.
are.
That's what you want.
Here
That's
we
what
go.
it's all about.
And he's going. Still dripping. Gee, it's making me hungry. I most certainly want to go at this. Oh, thumbs up. Thumbs up. There we go, Paul.
There
We've
you
got
go.
a thumbs up for your steak
Thank you
sandwich.
very much. All good?
Very good. Thank you
Fantastic.
very much for being part of it today. Happy Australia Day.
Thanks, Dave.
Happy Australia Day.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Now, just back a little bit here now to yourself there, Paul. Was there any tip you would give to someone at home? Someone doing that, what is the main thing you've got to get right?
Okay, when you before you cook the meat, make sure it's at room temperature. That way you're going to get the best flavour out of the meat. If it comes straight out of the fridge, it's still cold. The flavours, the juices haven't developed. Bring it up to room temperature, season nicely, and then cook it as you like. Rare, medium, however you like it. Fresh ingredients, quality ingredients, can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong.
Simple as that.
And can you get a steak sandwich like this at the pub?
Absolutely. This is one of our big, best-selling burgers that we have. And absolutely, come down to the pub and we'll have this on the Hereford Prime all the time. So
Hereford Prime, that's what we want to hear. And for a few of you that have gathered here in the park as well, we do have a rather big friend that we've brought along from the farm for all of you today. It's one big, big bull. His name's Hank the Hereford Bull. You'll see him standing in the pen by Hereford headquarters. This bull is no normal bull. This bull is so quiet. We have young Patrick O'Leary, who's recently engaged, might I add. He gets up straight on that bull, cracks his whips like a real cowboy, and the bull doesn't even flinch. So come along, have a look at our bull, have a look at Hank, have a look at Patrick, he'll be on top of him, and see if you can guess just how much he weighs, and there could be a prize in it for you there. Now back to these guys. Have you ever ridden a bull?
not recently.
Today could be the day where you might be riding a bull.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. I'd like to thank both of you for coming on stage today, and everyone who's here. Hart's Pub, it's in the rocks, it's near the Shangri-La there. It's a beautiful heritage listed pub. As you heard, Margaret Fulton has to be the doyenne of Australian cooking. She lived there. If she lived there, that's good enough for me. You know you'll get an absolutely cracking steak, but you'll also get a cracking beer, home-brewed beer, nothing like your VB, nothing like your Tooheys New. This is a whole heap better, very Australian brewed, and we're proud to say that they're partners with Hereford Prime here, and anyone who wants a little bit of Hereford Prime steak, please Go to Hereford Prime headquarters there. We've got all our products on display. We can tell you exactly how you can get your hands on them. You won't look back. As the chefs have told you today, it is reliable. Anyone can cook it at home, and that's the best bit about it.
And this afternoon we actually have all day. We've got Hereford Prime
Spit
Ian
roast.
the butcher made up a couple of big butt ends for me, and they're roasting all day at Hart's today.
Well, you can't go better than that. Happy Australia Day, everybody, and thanks for joining us. It's been good to have you.